In this video I would like to talk about how we can prevent unwelcome guests from joining our online lessons in Microsoft Teams. As you can see, we've got somebody here in our lesson that is not welcome. However, one of the first things to potentially consider is making sure that the meeting policy for teachers within the school's tenancy is set so that the lobby is enabled. So by default, all attendees are held within the lobby. Getting the meeting policy set up within your tenancy is something that your local IT support can do relatively easily. If you're working in a school where the lobby functions policy isn't set up or enabled, you can, as the meeting organiser, once you've created your meeting and sent it out to your students, you can go back into the meeting, select edit, and in your meeting options just make sure that who can bypass the lobby is set to only me. It's also advisable to set the who can present settings to only me and set the allow attendees to unmute to no. We can alter this as the meeting goes on, but what it does do is it then prevents anyone who's joined the lesson from being able to share their screen, and to prevent students from unmuting their microphones and interrupting the lesson. Click Save. That's us all set, so our lesson now can go ahead. So I've got an online lesson that is about to start. Depending on whether you use the desktop app or the browser version of Microsoft Teams, depends on how your lesson will begin. So we're viewing at the moment the desktop application, and we've got a student plus two others awaiting in our lobby. And at this moment we can't actually admit them to the class. We have to go and view the lobby, and as we can now see, we've got a guest here. We've got Susan, and we've also got somebody masquerading as Susan as well, but they've got a guest after the name. So any potential participant that has the word guest in brackets after the name could be deemed as an unwelcomed guest. What I can do at this moment is now click the cross, and that person will now be denied access to my online lesson. They can attempt to rejoin, however they will also be flagged up again in the lobby where you can reject them. So all I've got in my lobby are legitimate participants, so I can click the green tick there. Susan is being admitted. I can now carry on my lesson. So now I'm in the browser version of Teams, and my lesson is about to start. I've got Susan, she's waiting in the lobby, and I've got a clue that there are other people there. I can admit Susan, however I've got Susan Adbert again as a guest. Sometimes there is a temptation that if you've got a lot of students is just to click admit, bring everybody into the lesson. I do strongly recommend that either you click view lobby or click the show participants button here. This will then open up a participants window, and I can then see potential unwelcome guests. So Fred, I'm not going to allow in, and somebody who is masquerading as Susan Abbott, I'm not going to let in either. So if those two unwelcome guests attempt to rejoin the lesson, they again will be flagged up into the lobby. So I've got all my attendees for the lesson, so I can carry on as normal. If you do accidentally admit an unwelcome guest into your lesson, quick and easy way to get them out: select the participants button. You'll find the person there with the name guest after the name. Select the three dots and then click remove from meeting. If they attempt to rejoin, then the lobby function will flag up, and again at that point you can prevent them from joining. Something also to bear in mind is that some students may legitimately try to enter an online lesson from a device which they share with other members of the household, but are not currently signed into Office 365. We do recommend it as good practice for students to be correctly signed into Office 365 so that their name is displayed correctly and is not a guest name. But also, if a student isn't correctly signed into Office 365, they run the risk of not being admitted to the lesson, and they're missing out on the valuable teaching time, but also that they miss out on functionalities such as assignments, the class notebook. So we do recommend that students do take the time to correctly log into any shared devices so that they can be recognised prior to a lesson starting. And also the fact that if they're correctly logged in, they can access the full range of Teams applications.